Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's talk about Shameless. It's Mary Jane, season 9, episode 4. What is going on with Shameless? What are they doing to my show? So let's just talk about this election. Election is crazy. It reminds you of, the president now, Donald Trump. Like it was just crazy that Mo White won the election. How the hell did he win the election? Being a pervert, a child molester, and then when he had his acceptance speech, who did he have with him? A little young girl, the little young girl that he was talking to in the street when Frank went to, remove him from talking to the young girls because he has an issue. How the hell did he become president? It's just like what's going on with Brad Kavanaugh right now. So it's just like, this is crazy, and he is actually he's in Congress. It's like this Shameless actually is mirroring what's going on with, the new Supreme Court judge that they want to put on a bench. Brad, I think his name is Brad Kavanaugh. And him being accused, by Christina Ford, and that situation going on, and the Me Too movement, all in this, episodes. This was crazy that he got elected anyway. He's Congress. So are they letting us know that, Brad Kavanaugh is going to actually be elected to the Supreme Court? And it's like, how did he win? It's because of the hatred, the bigotry that they had going on. Like, so Mo wins. He comes out of nowhere. He has no campaign. He has no slogan. He only has Frank working for him, and Frank is collecting all the money and putting it into his pockets, and he actually gets elected. I just couldn't believe this. Like, so what is Frank gonna use, and how is he going to use Mo, later on in the episode? So we'll find out, like, from other seasons what's gonna happen with the situation, because it seems like, Frank has a friend now that he can probably call on that's in Congress, and he has his secret. He knows things about him, and he knows he doesn't have no family, and he's with this little girl. And then it's just so crazy that, Ruiz, he's pro business, he's pro this, and actually he wants to raise the property value and things like that. People do need that. But then we have Wyman. She's actually there to support the community and actually have rent control. And, she doesn't win. But Mo White wins because I guess there's more people that follow his hatred. He didn't say he hated anybody. He was very charismatic, but he likes children. And he doesn't really care. He just loves his job. He goes, I don't have to do nothing. That's the beautiful thing about being a congressman. You don't have to do anything. So it just seems like, they just showing us what's going on in reality right now. So I was just like, okay, that's cool or whatever. And then Frank is just totally forgot about his kids. Well, he always forget about his kids, but Liam, like his situation, him not being in private school anymore, no one's really, assessing Liam, like what's going on with him in school, how is public school. Only person that's really doing something is actually, Lip. He's actually making sure he gets to school and has a lunch. But, Fiona's not worried about Liam or like if he's in the right grade, because they actually, bump Liam up to 3rd grade. And it's like, so how old is Liam? Like, is he 7? Is he 8? And is he going to still have his partnership with the kid that's supposed to be his protector, to protect him from Cracker Girl? So now him moving to 6th grade, what's going to be like for him? Is he going to have protection in 6th grade? And his test placements are really high. You thought that they would place him and test him before, he entered in class, but I guess they've been monitoring. So they just letting us know, like, the public school system is terrible. And actually having, the kid that's supposed to be protecting Liam in school, him being huge and big, did he get left behind? What's going on? They're talking about the school system. He was doing like pluses and takeaways, addition and subtraction. So I don't know what's going on with Liam, but Liam, he's happy to be, going to the 6th grade. He's kind of like, okay, I'm going to be smart. I'm smart or whatever, because he thought he was going to be left behind, because he goes, it usually happens to the people in my family, but not to him. So that was cool. So his storyline's out the way. And now we have Lip's storyline. Lip's storyline is very crazy. I just can't wrap my head around it. I don't know why he's attached to this little girl, Zan. This little girl, Zan, needs to be not with Lip, because he can't teach her. He can't show her, but he does have a safe environment for her, a safe place for her to stay. Like, she's not going to be molested. She's going to eat, she's not going to be abused. And she isn't in a safe environment. But Lip, he meets up with, Zan's mother, because she comes to his job, and he was like, oh, where's you going to be staying? This and that, blah, blah, blah. And he starts to follow her around and find, and Lip is also saying, oh, you only want her back because you probably got a case manager appointment, because he knows the deal, because he's been through it with his mother and with Frank too as well. So this is why probably he's attached to Zan, because he knows what type of situation that she's going to go through, and what she's going through, having her parents abandon her. But also he should know when his mother and his father abandoned him, he gave Frank some chances. Carl gave Frank chances, and Debbie gave Frank chances too as well, and even Liam, and they gave their mother chances that's dead now. So he should know that she's gonna most likely want to be with her mother because she's young. And then on top of that, he saw it growing up. So anyways, Lip starts to follow, Zan's mother around, and she's turning tricks. She don't even look like a trick. She don't even look like she's on drugs. She don't even look like a prostitute. I don't even know. She's a good looking prostitute. She's a good looking drug addict, because it don't look like she's on drugs or she's prostituting as well. So he's following her, and he knows what type of life that, Zan's going to have with the mother, because, the mother's going to end up selling Zan. You know what I mean? Like if a client wants Zan is going to be dumpster diving, and he knows this, and he's like afraid for her. And plus, it's not a stable environment. But Lip is not living his own life, and he's not dealing with his own issues, because he's too busy worrying about everybody else's issues, and he's not focusing on his issue. That way, he can work on going back to school, actually going back into engineering, actually going back into like science, which he was comfortable in doing, and dealing with the feelings of the hurt and the loss. He's not dealing with it like he's supposed to deal with it, but he's dealing with it by taking on other people's problem, which could lead him back to alcohol. He's been very good not going back to drinking, but it seems like it's gonna be there. It seems like he's really hurt, and you don't really believe the connection between Lip and Zan. It doesn't seem like there's a connection. Like I'm not sold on their connection or their bond, because she's always trying to run, and it doesn't seem like they spend much time together or anything like that. And so somehow, some way, Lip goes to a lawyer. We didn't see that, and get paperwork done, and he sells his motorcycle that he's been working on since he became sober, and he was going to AAA and sold it. I don't know how much he sold it for, but he ended up having 10 grand. He could have took that 10 grand and invested in the house that live in, invested in Carl, invested in Debbie, invested in his niece, you know what I mean? Or invested in him going back to school, invested in his family, or even invested in probably getting Liam into a better school or something like that, or going back to college, and he didn't do that. So he takes $10,000, he finds Zan's mother, and then, he offers her, say, hey, listen, I'm gonna take you. If you sign these papers, give me guardianship, I'll give you 10 grand. Of course, the mother was gonna take 10 grand, but then Zan follows, Lip, and she sees her mother, and they started hugging each other. The mother's strung out. She needs to get help, and I don't understand why Lip would leave $10,000 for her and then run like a pussy, run like he was scared. Like you a gala girl. Like, what's wrong with you? You see what Frank just did? He just got more white elected, you idiot. And I was so mad. And she's gonna take that $10,000 and probably OD, and Zan is gonna be still dumpster diving, and he didn't accomplish his goal, because he still should have had her sign the papers and say, hey, listen, you can visit Zan anytime you want to, but I just need to have guardianship over to make sure she goes to school, make sure she's eating, make sure she's safe, or whatever. And he'll have them papers where he can take her to court or whatever. But he sees the bond between Zan and the mother, and he just gets he's just like, he feels hurt. Like, he thought that she was gonna hate her mother, she didn't want to be with her mother. He knew that Zan was stealing money to try to give it to his mother and put it in the P.O. box. So it's just like a crazy situation. Doesn't make any sense. But you can understand Lip is good heart, and he's trying to do the right thing. But it seems like he has so much going on. $10,000 can help his brother, Ian, with his court cases or whatever, or just get him back into school or something, fix up that house, get them freaking dogs out, like do something constructive. He was trying to do something constructive by helping Zan, but then he leaves at $10,000. He doesn't get the paper signed. What the hell's going on? He don't have money. Where are the Gallaghers getting money to just throw away? You got Fiona investing 100 grand, you know what I mean? And we're going to see how that falls. So it seems like, she's going to lose her money, in my opinion, but I hope she doesn't. So we have that situation with Lip, and then everybody's at the house eating Popeye's chicken. So they must have paid a lot of money. They're eating the black man's chicken. And so that was cool seeing them eat Popeyes. But then just the race, and then let's get on to Fiona. Fiona's always arguing with Ford. It's like Ford and Fiona are totally different people. At one point in time, Ford and Fiona was the same people. Like they had the same idea, the same ideas, the same thoughts, where they agreed on things. But as Fiona got more business savvy and things that she's doing, like she really cared about the community at one point in time. She loved the community. She was almost homeless. They almost lost their house. You know, they couldn't pay the bills. Remember when Fiona was cleaning up shit and stuff like that, and she was working at any and every place to try to take care of the family, and she was struggling. But it's crazy that she's struggling like she is. And look at Debbie. Debbie's making $18 an hour as a welder, and she's doing way much better than Fiona. Ian was doing good too as well, because he was an EMT, and he just stopped that. Like, what is going to go on with Ian? Is he going to have another love interest? Because it seems like Ian is done with this playing Jesus thing and Shem or whatever. So get back on to Fiona and Ford. Like, they argue. Like, she acts like she don't understand that Ford is not for profit. Ford, you know, he values and treasures old things, like the building that Fiona brought. He wanted to put the right door on. He wanted to make it perfect. The way he lives, he doesn't come from money. His background as, like, you know, for the community, and Fiona was that at one point in time. But now Fiona wants to vote for Ruiz, and all of a sudden now she's interested in politics. She goes to her little waitress place, and as she's the manager, and move, you know, Mo White's posters. That's good, but she put a Ruiz poster, and then she's making her waitress, forcing them to wear pens that, you know, is Ruiz, and trying to tell, like, the cooks and the dishwasher, hey, listen, you can leave early if you go vote for Ruiz, and you can go with your family, bring your friends, you know, all go together. And it's like kind of crazy, because why would she think her employees will vote for him when they don't own property? And then with Ruiz getting into office, what's going to happen? They're not going to be able to afford rent. They're not going to be able to afford the things that are going to afford things, because, you know, Wyman, she actually wants to have rent control and things like that to protect them, and that protects the waitress and the cooks, because they're not making that money. They don't own property. So it's like, and Fiona trying to force one of her waitresses to wear Ruiz pen, and she was like, you got me see Amazing Grace? And it was just like, yo, that was wrong. And then she offers, like, people free pie if they vote for Ruiz, or they wear his pen. So it just seems like crazy. And it seems like, you know, Ford and Fiona are moving farther apart. It's like he's picking things from Fiona and Fiona's questioning herself whether, you know, has she become the person that she doesn't want to become, corporate, not caring about the little man, because she also wanted to be cared about before. But as her time as being owning property and having renters, you know, screw her and not pay the rent, you know, so she wants Ruiz because she wants to be able to charge as much rent as possible. But their conflicts don't seem that interesting, and it seems like Ford is going to be moving on, and Fiona didn't realize, you know, that maybe she's wrong until she talked to V and Kevin, and there was like, she was like, yo, you know, it's gonna hurt us, you know, voting for Ruiz is gonna hurt us. He wants to raise rent, like, we can't afford this stuff. Like, the regular man can't afford, you know, keep raising up the rent when, you know, V has daycare, they have the bar, they have to pay rent, they have to pay property tax, and they're barely making money at the bar. So why would they vote for, you know, Ruiz? And the Fiona's thinking totally business minded, and that's cool. But it's just like, damn, like she turns into a whole different person. But at the end of the day, I believe she ended up voting for Wyman, because, you know, Frank did his dirty due diligence and went and got, you know, Mickey's, you know, father, the Aryan Nation, the Russians, to actually go to the polls and block people from voting. That was just like back 2016, huh? And so, you know, and then so Gay Jesus, his people, Ian people, they came, like the female, you know, MMA fighters or whatever came, and I guess it was supposed to be a big joke or whatever, saying that the other gay men, they were just too feminine to, you know, protect or whatever. So now you have these people fighting among each other, try to vote. Fiona joins in, and she starts to fight, and this is at the polls. And I believe Fiona ended up picking a side, and she ended up picking Wyman at the end of the day. But it took her a long time to get there, to understand how her brothers are struggling, how everybody's struggling. But she's different now. So moving on from that situation, so that's Fiona and Ford. It seems like they're growing farther apart, and seems like she doesn't know him and he doesn't know her anymore. So that was that was kind of weird in the situation too as well. And then I just can't believe Lip giving away that 10 grand and just running. Like, that is just crazy. And then we get on to Carl. Carl still got these damn dogs in the house. I know it must think it's disgusting. Like, and he can't kill the dogs. And now he's being challenged to a duel from another dude that wants to go to White Point, whatever school that he wants to go to, and he can challenge to a duel. Reminds me of the Simpsons or whatever. And so the kid ends up shooting himself and crying because he doesn't want to go to West Point. I think it's West Point. He doesn't want to go to West Point. He wants to be a poet. So if he has, wounds, he can't pass the physical, so it all works out. Then you got Carl. He go visit some crazy dude that, was in the Vietnam, but not Vietnam, the Iraqi war, and the Tao has, as they say on the show, is just like ridiculous. And try to get, Carl's trying to get his killer instinct back when he was a drug dealer, back when he was tough. So the guy was like, I have trouble killing dogs, but people that was going to blow me up, that's a different thing. And so Carl's situation, his storyline sucks. And what's going on with, Cassie, is she really dead? His storyline sucks. Ian's storyline right now sucks. He's facing prison time, maybe or maybe not, but he might be going back to jail. No one's worried about that or focus on that. Before, they used to rally around each other. It's like they're totally living separate lives. And we have Debbie. She's with her new partner, and her partner realized that Debbie's really straight. She really likes penis, and she's just having fun with her. And so Debbie has kind of moved in with the girl with her baby. She don't even know her that well. They're having sex and all this other shit, and Debbie wants to be grown so bad because remember last season she was with a guy that was taking all types of Molly and shit, and Debbie was tripped out too on drugs with this dude. And now she's with this woman that Debbie makes $18 an hour. She can actually afford her own apartment and a better place for her daughter to stay, or she can actually help fix up the house that she lives in. It doesn't make any sense. So the love interest of Debbie, she just realized after talking to Debbie that she really wasn't lesbian, because she kept talking about her ex-boyfriends and their penis and how they used to do it and this and that. So it's just like whatever. And so the girl just is like, what, I just can't do this because I always do this. I always fall in love with straight girls. I always get with straight girls. And so Debbie is left alone again, and she's going back home. Nobody even noticed that she was gone. Nobody even noticed that she moved out. And she moved out that quick. Like, she's quick to jump into things, like, just so fast. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And what happened to her protesting in this women's shit, the Me Too movement that she was focusing on? Where is she taking that? And what is she going to do with these women that was there making penises and putting on their cars? They're actually going to do something about it. Actually going to do something about, African Americans, women or African Americans making 65% less or than Debbie's actually making. So it just kind of seems like kind of weird with that situation. We finally see Fran, and she's like Fran is all over the place. So we take care of that situation with Debbie. I don't know what they're going to do with Debbie. Debbie's storyline was kind of interesting, but then it's not. Like, I want to see where the baby father's at, the grandmother, and Debbie try to fix up the house, try to do more things that's more interesting, where she's interacting with her brothers and sisters like they don't have a relationship anymore. You barely get them together. And so then we move on to Kevin V, they're doing damn well because their bar is considered the rapey bar, but it's not the rapey bar anymore, and it's actually a bar that women are now going into. Is disgusting. And then watching watching Tommy and watching Tommy and the other guys at the bar talking about their sexual experience, it sounds like rape and everything. So they're trying to make the bar better. They get a reporter. She comes in and she upgrades the bar and says it's nice. It's off the rapey list. They make the environment, I don't know how they made the environment less rapey, but now women are coming into this dive bar. I guess it's like the number one dive bar, and they're really feeling good about it. And then actually another owner was like, my bar was considered rapey bar number 2, but since yours is off the list, I'm number 1. How can I change my bar around? And so then you got Kev. He's in a suit and he's ready to go. He's seen an opportunity to make money, because Kevin will always try to make money regardless whether he cares or not. So we have that situation go on, and so now their bar is considered a good bar, and women are coming in. So hopefully they'll be making more than $700, hopefully they can make $700 after they close, because before they wasn't even making $700. So we'll see how that goes. They have contracts, basically to talk a woman, to approach a woman, and they're making it a safe environment where women can go out and be in a safe environment. So that's cool. And so you got Kev with that opportunity. We don't know what's going on with the daycare with the two twins, because it's only one spot for one, and you got two twins going. So we have that situation. Then we get Mickey's father. We don't know where Mickey's at, his sister's at, or anything. Well, we get to see him. He's still kicking. He just out of prison, and now he's over there, and he's getting paid from Frank to stop people to vote for Ruiz and Wyman, and then Mo Green wins. I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? It's just so crazy. But I just I can't get over, lip giving away that 10 grand. Like, it's hard for them to come around money. So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love.